How do you go about getting an exorcism?
Today we're counting down our picks for the movie scenes that made audiences walk out. Number 10, the chestburster, Alien.
What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
About a third of the way into the sci-fi horror classic Alien, John Hurt's character, Kane, has been unknowingly impregnated by the alien. When the monster crashes through Kane's stomach and slithers out of his bleeding innards, it was enough to make the more squeamish viewers flee the theater altogether. Though the camera doesn't linger on the gore too much, there's still just enough to make your stomach turn. Number 9, the tent scene, the Blair Witch Project. Many people really believe this movie captured the last days of a group of documentary filmmakers investigating the title urban legend. Its handheld photography was so new that it gave viewers motion sickness. One scene in particular, where the character's tent is attacked by unseen forces, was the final straw for many.
I just want to apologize.
As it's nighttime, we can't see much, and what we can see is unfocused and constantly moving around the screen. Number 8, Jenny Anydots, Cats. As Jenny Anydots, Rebel Wilson's vocals are clearly lacking, but the scene is a cavalcade of misjudged jokes and horrors previously unknown to the movie-going public. Jenny Anydots mercilessly chomps down on CGI cricket dancers and basically skins herself mid-number.
Now for the icing on the cake!
For people who went in knowing very little about Cats and expected a lighthearted musical comedy, it was a bridge too far. Number 7, Home Invasion, A Clockwork Orange. Vicious sociopathic outlaw Alex and his gang of deranged droogs revel in terrorizing and debasing their fellow human beings. The entire movie is an exercise in endurance. How much cruelty can you watch? Early in the film, Alex and his droogs break into a writer's home, beat him within an inch of his life, and assault his wife while Alex cheerfully crows out the lyrics to Singin' in the Rain. It's a relentless scene. Forcing the audience to stare at abject evil is a big ask, and this was the moment many decided A Clockwork Orange wasn't worth the price of admission.
Clouds, so dark up above, sun's in my heart.
Number 6, Allie's Death, Terrifier 2. The Terrifier series by Damien Leone is all about making its audience squirm in complete disgust. Nothing about the way Art the Clown dispatches his victims is easy, efficient, or merciful. The scene where he brutally murders Allie is several unflinching minutes of extended violence. But that's not even the cruelest part. It's when Art begins pouring salt and bleach over her disfigured body that really separated the viewers who were buying what this movie was selling, and those who couldn't handle it.
Sir.
Number 5, The Crucifixion, The Passion of the Christ.
Man, that's fácil.
Yeshua. Yeshua din Zare.
Mel Gibson's epic film version of the life and death of Jesus Christ was truly a spiritual experience for Christians and non-Christians alike. Where previous films made the crucifixion a theatrical but relatively bloodless affair, Gibson's camera lingers on Christ's wounds and suffering. For many Christians, it brought them even closer to their faith. For other audience members, it was a work of art that was just too brutal and brimming over with unnecessary violence. Number 4, One of Us, Freaks. Set among traveling circus performers, the beautiful trapeze artist marries a sideshow performing dwarf for his inheritance. Unfortunately, 1932 audiences were immediately horrified by the sight of any body difference on screen. The scene where the performers accept Cleopatra, the trapeze artist, as one of their own, had many audiences siding with the movie's villain. During test screenings, people became so ill that there was talk of lawsuits. According to the film's art director, audiences didn't walk out, they ran out. Number 3, The Arm, 127 Hours.
It is a bit of a climb.
We clapped.
And a bit of a squeeze.
We squeezed.
The movie about Ralston's real brush with death and his desperate escape spares none of the gory details. For 5 minutes, we're forced to watch every move he makes as he endeavors to amputate his own arm to free himself off the boulder. Director Danny Boyle makes sure we get several close-ups of his incisions and the blood and meat of his exposed arm. The stinging of the musical score as he severs tendons and nerves is almost too much to take. There were several reports of audience members fainting and vomiting during it. Number 2, The Ear, Reservoir Dogs. In the most disturbing scene, Michael Madsen's sociopathic bank robber taunts a captive policeman with a song and dance before severing his ear with a straight razor.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, here I am, stuck in a field with you.
Unlike the director's later work, the violence is played mostly off-screen. That is until Madsen brings the severed ear into the frame and talks into it. You know, because he's a funny guy. Early film festival screenings saw several walkouts during the scene. Number 1, Headspin, The Exorcist. Noted for its unrelenting scares and convincing special effects, the movie caused scores of audiences to become so scared and so sick they had to leave the theater, and the ones who stayed were stunned by what they saw. One of the movie's most terrifying and nausea-inducing moments is when the possessed girl's head spins around, marking a point of no return for the demonic possession at the center of the story. It's a moment of obscenity, sacrilege, and body horror that movie audiences found impossible to shake.
What is your daughter's middle name, Mrs. McNeil?
Teresa.